morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
Let's smack it in the ass.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck and spit on that thing. You get me?
Oh, that's nice.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic.
Yeah. Super duper.
That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy, that was good news.
First time I had a raspberry, 40 years old. 40 years old, first time I had a raspberry. I said it at the party. I was like, what is this? And they go, the bowl? That's how much they figured. Well, clearly he knows what raspberry is. It makes more sense for him not to know what a bowl is. I didn't see raspberries growing up. You know, I don't come from money, all right? I still swim with my eyes open. I love processed food, you know? I love it. I'm a farm factory table guy. And
the Jets 5 of 16 on third down. Rodgers back to pass, fade right, and intercepted. Did Gilmore pick it off? Come on, the Vikings. Yes! Vikings ball. I believe it was Stephon Gilmore, but he's being mugged by his teammates, and why wouldn't he? The Minnesota Vikings are going to improve to 5-0. Stephon Gilmore, with his first interception wearing the colors, has sent the Vikings into the bye week with an interception of Aaron Rodgers and what will be their 5th consecutive victory. Well done, young man.
What's happening, sports fans? It's the Power Trip Morning Show, the last show without my two dads. They'll both be back tomorrow. Hawk's on his way back from London, and Corey's on his way back from hedonism or wherever he is. It's Maxo, it's Alexis, it's Muss, and it's Zacho. What's
what
up,
a mess.
everybody?
Hey,
Morning.
what's good, Saucy?
What's
Alexis,
going on?
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Maxo?
Black and beautiful, baby.
I knew that. I thought that would be Muss's answer, but here we are. Hey, Musso, your Minnesota Vikings are 5-0.
Yeah.
5-0.
Who would have ever guessed that?
You know who would have guessed it? Besides, I keep giving Chris Hockey all the credit. You know who else guessed it on the Rich Eisen radio show?
No.
Nick Swartzen.
Really?
Yeah, they went through the schedule and he said they'd lose one game. So technically he was right. They went through every game and he said win, win, win. They won. They're 5-0, man.
It was easy to look at that schedule, and we called it the gauntlet, right? You know, early on. And you're like, okay, if we can walk away with 2 wins,
right?
You know, beat the Giants, and then maybe you get a sneaky one in there. You go to the bye, and everything's okay. 5-0.
5-0.
Yeah, it's absolutely spectacular. I mean, we got some issues, but okay.
Yeah, we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But they picked Rodgers off 3 times. He threw 3 interceptions. Stephon Gilmore, that we just heard, had the one that won the game. Andrew Van Ginkel, again,
ridiculous.
Maxo, had that 63-yard touchdown return. His second pick 6 of the season. Just an unbelievable play.
I don't know how he does it. Well, because honestly, if you look at him on the sidelines or if you're at the game, he's like, you know, the bowling sleeve that you have.
Yeah.
He's got like these braces on both of his wrists.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you have such soft hands?
Yeah.
when you're wearing that.
He described it in his post-game press conference where he said what he does is he looks at what the guard is doing, and he knew that when he moved up to the line, he knew that was the play they were going to run.
Right.
So he stunted that guy and then dropped back, and then Rodgers didn't even see it coming, and he picked him off. And then he returns at 63 yards for a touchdown. Now, when you only score 23 points, you need all the points you can get. Mm-hmm. But your Minnesota Vikings, Zacho, are 5-0. How about that?
I mean, it's so funny because we listened to all the experts and they said this is going to be a terrible team. We will continue, I think, every week until they finally lose, to bring up the fact that at one point, very quickly, right before the season, ESPN gave this team a 32 out of 32 ranking, and we're talking about how we were going to be picking first in the draft next year. That is obviously not going to be the case. And the cool thing is, you look ahead at the schedule. There's obviously some tough games, particularly in the division. But man, there are some very in any given Sunday, I hate to say easy wins ahead, but man, manageable games, manageable wins, and the fact that we're talking now heading into the bye, where the ceiling for this team is first round bye and leading the NFC. The fact that is very much on the table looking ahead. If they continue to put stuff together, they got to get better. There's plenty to talk about and to criticize from yesterday, but overall, what a position to be in as a Vikings fan. This team is very good.
Yeah, and they're not only just winning these games. I mean, for at least the first half of most of these games, they're dominating teams, man. They're absolutely smoking it. And to go back to the Andrew Van Ginkel thing, I think they said that you can count on one hand how many times Aaron Rodgers has thrown a pick six or something like that.
Something like that.
6. And Andrew Van Ginkel, and we picked him off 3 times yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the first time he threw 2 picks in the first quarter of a game ever, I think.
I think you might be
something
right.
like that. We made him look old yesterday.
Right, yeah. And I get that he is old, but he's still Aaron Rodgers.
Man knee, man ankle.
He surpassed 60,000 yards yesterday. He's one of only 6-7 people to ever do that, and the Vikings made him look absolutely ordinary. And we talk about every week how there's a new person stepping up every single week, but the one consistent pretty much week in and week out is Andrew Van Ginkel, man. AVG might be the MVP. He should be in the defensive MVP conversation because
for sure.
It's not just the pick sixes. It's not just interceptions. He's in on almost every tackle. He's causing disruptions. He's causing sacks. It's this defense is just incredible, man. And we've talked about it before. They bend, they don't break, and they come up with the big plays almost every single time, especially when the offense was pretty anemic the whole second half.
And this team is when the defense is playing well, this team under KOC is pretty much unstoppable.
Right,
if they're getting turnovers, KOC is winning that game. So the fact the defense has done what they've done this season, especially given the fact that some of these second halves they've had some collapses. Again, I think part of that is because you get a little complacent when you're up by 30 points at halftime. But nonetheless, you still got to finish out the game, and the defense has set us up for success. Sammy slings it, is slinging it, and whatever happens in the second half, we're still finding ways to close out these games. So, I mean, it's like you guys have been saying, we knew this was going to be the toughest part of the schedule. First 5 games of the season, how are we going to fare heading into the bye week? Now that that's done and we're sitting at an undefeated record, I mean, we are going to lose some games, but we've gotten through what was likely going to be the toughest part of the schedule, which I think makes this feel even that much better.
She's good.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, my gosh. She's here. I hear you all the time. This is the first time I've actually met you.
Yeah, this is the first time in person we've met.
I'm sorry on your end, but here's the thing is that if we could just not play in the third quarter, just skip the third quarter.
Yes,
right.
Yeah. My God, the third quarter has just been awful, especially the last couple of games. But ultimately, I remember early on in the season, before we even started up, I asked Ben Lieber, who is a sexy man, I asked him here on this show, I go, which side, what phase do you think is going to be the most dynamic? Is it going to be offense, KOC, of course, or is it going to be the defense? And at the time, he was like, oh, yeah, obviously the offense. And I think it's the defense just won us a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely won the game for us.
They absolutely did.
Yeah, and a game that we were trying to almost lose.
Yeah, well, the issue that they have, and we can get into this a lot because it's one of the main topics and things that I wrote down, is the issue that they had is the second Aaron Jones went out, this team went stagnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, there are a lot of people, and I think the take can go either way. I think the take is both right and wrong. Because what they do is they're such, everybody, the past 5 years, out with the old, in with the new. Everybody wanted young coaches. Sean McVay has won a Super Bowl. He's a young guy. Matt LaFleur, he's a young guy. You have all these young guys. I mean, the Seahawks coach, I think, is 36. Yeah. It's all these young guys. So you want these young guys and these fresh and young ideas. Now, the one thing that we saw yesterday with these younger guys is they're aggressive on the football field. I don't know about them off the field, but on the football field, they're aggressive. It's passing We saw it when they were up by 3. The Jets just scored to make it a 3-point game. And KOC, with his quarterback who had a bad day, throwing the ball when you should be running and just ticking that clock down. They don't do that. Now, that hasn't killed them yet in that situation. They sometimes get a little too cute in the third quarter, which, as you said, maybe not play the third quarter. But you'd rather have that aggressiveness than to just, and I'm not ripping them because they won a huge game. The Gophers, they won a huge game. That was awesome. But you see it a lot with the Gophers where they are just afraid to push down. And when they didn't, they punched that one in at the 1-inch line and they beat USC. You have to play, and I know Herm Edwards gets ripped for this and made fun of. You have to play to win the game.
You do.
You can't play to tie. And Grimm, who will be here in 20 minutes, he says he's staunch on that. You don't play for overtime. But there were times where, like, they were just, I think for the first time, Rich Eisen, when he wasn't gushing over everything Rodgers did, I think he said that's the first time the Vikings all season went back-to-back 3-and-out.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's an incredible football team. I know the special teams, other than that kicker, who's a stone-cold stud.
Reichert,
Rosie might have been right. He might be the best kicker we've ever had.
Yeah.
He's nails, man. That long one that he kicked to put him up 6, what a kick. No question about it.
He had 54,
And
55, and a 34. Yeah.
Now, we're not talking like
chip shots. No.
Chip shots.
Yeah.
He's bombing these
Which
from
we
deep.
have been known to miss as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
We don't have enough time.
We're all scarred when it comes to kickers.
We don't have enough time for that, and the bars aren't open yet. But I just the aggressiveness maybe eventually will catch up to them, Muss. But as of right now, last week we saw it. The Packers got back into the game. Instead of just trying to milk the clock out, they're throwing. That one pass last week, 17 yards. Similar play this week, 18-yard pass to Justin when they needed it, because that is how they attack. And I give him credit. Sam Darnold didn't play well yesterday, but the aggressive nature that they have so far has gotten them to 5-0.
I love the fact that he throws the pick, right? And right over the middle, and then the very next series.
He sailed that. That was a terrible throw.
It was a terrible throw. I mean, Addison, he had like 3 passes that were like, that's not even within 8 yards of the guy.
It was like he was throwing to the other guy.
Which is, okay, all right. Not every quarterback is going to have a great season front to start, right? I mean, and then also we get to look at Sam Darnold, and you're like, okay, everybody's going to be, here comes, this is the real Sam Darnold, blah, blah, blah. But then the trust that KOC has in that man's arm and his play call, I love the aggression. The only thing I didn't love was when, as you mentioned, Aaron Jones goes down.
Yeah.
It almost was a regression to last year.
Yeah.
Correct.
Where
Gotta stick to the game plan.
Yeah, KOC was just like, no, I don't trust the run. I'm not gonna really invest too much in it.
Yeah.
And then we got a little pass happy, and then that caused some problems because we made ourselves just right-handed.
Yeah.
I do think that's what makes this team special, though. I mean, like you said, Sauce, it's like being able to run it down their throats, literally and metaphorically speaking, run or pass, whatever you decide to do. I mean, that's a skill that can get you out of trouble in most games. If you're willing to take those chances, I even go back to that game against San Fran at home. The play before JJ's 97-yard touchdown, I think was like an incomplete pass or something wonky, some ugly play, and he just launches it for a touchdown. It's like we would never have done that 5 years. They would have run it 3 times from our own 3-yard line, and we would have gone 3-and-out. That's what they would have done. So the fact that they're willing to take those chances, regardless of if we're winning by 20, up by 3, start of the game. I mean, everything they're doing in that regard is benefiting them right now, and I hope they don't go away from that, even when we get to the points of the season where we lose a game or two or things aren't going our way. I hope we stick with that same kind of strength and reserve that they seem to find, where it's like, we're going to take this chance regardless of the score.
We're not going to run ourselves into a win.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it's designed.
You're correct. Yeah.
I mean, the offensive line, everything else, you're just not going to be able to do that. And so it just needs to be complementary football. And that's all you need out of your run game. But, it's, I don't know. You're going to run into some situations where you're going to need to run that clock down. I don't know if we can.
Well, luckily we have the bye. Your Minnesota Vikings are 5-0. That segment was brought to you by my good friends at Gutter Helmet of Minnesota and GutterHelmetMN.com. The leaves are falling. Never clean your gutters again. Trust me, it's the best, one of the best things I've done to my house. They are awesome at what they do. That's Maxo, that's Alexis, that's Muss, that's Zach on Meat Sauce. We'll be back after this. I have some updated Vikings odds, including where they stand and their over-under that at one point was 6.5.
The Fan.
The Power Hour begins at 8 a.m. You can watch it at KFAN.com/watch. It is powered by Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed.
Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. The two dads will be back tomorrow. Me, Max, Zach are running the ship. Muss and Alexis are kind enough to join us this early in the morning. Before we get back into all the football talk, how was Secret Show last night, Muss?
Oh, man, Secret Show. Number 3 for K102. Massive. It was awesome. I've never seen a crowd like that.
Yeah.
We've done so... And it's cool is we do free shows. And we do this on purpose because, honestly, you know, you can gush over your listeners and fans and stuff like that. But K102 fans are absolutely ridiculously awesome. And so we give them free shows. And then they came up with this idea, let's do the Secret Show, where no one knows. We legitimately have no idea. We go up on stage, we open up an envelope, and that's when we find out who's going to be on stage. That's
Really?
That's staff members, yeah.
It was live crew, right?
Yes, it was. It was.
Was
Yeah,
it Wheeler
awesome.
Rocker?
You know, they added a fiddle and
wow.
and steel guitar that really brought it home. But yeah, Old Dominion was our headliner last night, and it was just awesome. Those guys are absolutely spectacular. They are definitely, if you're one of those teeter people, as far as not sure if you're a country fan or you got somebody that's like, I'm not really sure, play Old Dominion for them.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get it, like, okay, I get this. This is super sweet. These guys, you know, college band essentially, and they are just absolutely spectacular. It was a great night last night. And then, of course, you know, getting up at 4 a.m. yesterday for that 6:30 broadcast for the Vikings game. And then I can't sleep. I couldn't take a nap because I was so pumped. I was over-caffeinated, and we're 5-0, and I was super pumped. And so then I think I'm running off about maybe 8 hours of sleep in the last 4 days.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate it. Alexis, did you go to the Gopher game on Saturday? That's all you and your soon-to-be hubby do. How did you not go?
Okay. So Saturday was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
23?
Yeah, how'd you know? Thank you. So Saturday was my birthday, and we had 2 weddings that day. We're in the thick of weddings with our ages because my fiance is 2 years older than me. I'm
Like
late
the people
20s.
getting married are thick, or you're in the thick of wedding season?
Now wait a minute.
I don't make enough money to know this many people to go to weddings.
So we had 2 weddings. My cousin got married, and then one of my good friends, who people who listen might know her, Erin Lowry, who used to run the Minnesota Wild Twitter account for a while back in the day. Her and her husband got married that night. So we did the wedding parlay. So we missed the Gopher game. We were like, when we knew we had the weddings, we're like, okay, if the Gopher game's like at 11, we can maybe like do the Gopher game, leave at halftime, and make it all work. Of course, the game ended up being a night game, so it didn't work out for us. But when we were driving to the second wedding, we got to the wedding right as the Gophers were driving for that last play where they got the touchdown. And we're like, we have to like sit in the car and listen to the rest of this. So we can't go in until this game is over. So we're sitting there, and of course there's like the review, there's another review, and we're like, oh God, this is taking forever. And then finally they score, and we go in, and my friend Erin and her husband are huge Gopher fans. They have season tickets as well and stuff. And when we got to the area where the wedding is, we had to be let in like through a gate, and the guy was like, oh, there's 2 weddings today. Which one are you going to? And we told him, and so he told us where to go. And when we walked in the door, my fiance was like, God, I hope we're at the right wedding. And we opened the door, and they're like, let's play the Rouser. And everybody starts cheering. We're like, yeah, we're at the right place.
That's cool.
So
That's cool.
We listened to most of it, a good chunk of it while we were driving.
So was that the first dance then? The Rouser?
Yeah, it should have been. It would have fit perfectly for this couple. So.
Yeah, it was one of those games where when you watch the Gophers, and I watch every game, and when you watch it, you're going, this is another one of those games where it's they got too cute early on, and USC is going to march down and make it 24-10, and then they're going to get pass happy, and it might be over. And then they get pressure on that quarterback, and he throws an interception, and they march down the field. And that, I mean, the 4th and inch bit, you have to go for it. You have to. You can't kick a field goal in that situation.
If you don't get it, I'll still respect you.
Of course,
if you go for it and you lose that game, fine. You still have my respect.
Yeah.
If you're passive and you're like, let's play it safe, or let's kick a field goal, or let's do this, and you lose, I'm going to be a little mad.
Right.
But you go for it. I respect that. It just so happened to work, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was unbelievable how, like, you know, I mean, USC, man, they're what, 0-2 in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
I don't think they've won a Big Ten game yet. Maybe 1-2. But yeah, that's a big victory. Now, you can't lay an egg next week against USC or UCLA, who is hideously bad.
Okay, you know what's crazy though is the Gophers are 2 plays away from being a, let me do the math, 5-1 team.
Did Tommy send you that?
Think about it. If Dragon doesn't miss that kick against UNC, Gophs win that game.
Yep.
I'm not going to go all refs suck bit here, but if the refs make a different call on the Michigan onside kick, Gophs have a chance to win that game. Iowa, to me, is the only game that we like truly deserve to lose, play bad enough to lose. I don't really see a way we would have ended up winning that game. Those other 2 games,
Okay, Rose.
those other 2 games, we had a chance to be 5-1 going into this next game. So I mean, but that's the beauty of sports, you know. It's
Correct.
Game of inches. So.
And we'll talk to Grimm in about 6 minutes, and then Guardsy is coming in between 7 and 7:30, and he was on the field, and all those bits that are on KFAN.com on the Gopher page of all the interviews that he did are just excellent. Max, what did you do this weekend?
I actually went and saw Bill Nye, the Science Guy, on Friday.
Did he tour
on Saturday? Yeah, he tours. It's super random.
Wow.
He was at the State Theater, and it was awesome.
Did he pack the State Theater?
Yeah, it was packed in there. I was a little worried. I'm like, dang, I don't know who's going to go see Bill on a Saturday night because I'm a loser, so I'm in there, you know what I'm saying? But it was the exact Bill Nye that you thought. He came out with the bow tie. He came out with the song
and
everything.
Age? Because every photo I see of him, I'm like, that's what I remember him looking like 20 years ago.
Same. Like, he posted pictures, and he's like, oh, you guys probably think I look old now. I'm like, no, you look exactly the same. Yeah, and he gave
science.
Yeah, it is science, right. He gave like a whole PowerPoint about, like, it wasn't as, I thought it was going to be really depressing. I'm like, Bill's going to tell me the world is ending. And everything I'm doing is harming the planet. But like, it was actually, he combined comedy with his own like biographical story, and then obviously threw some like hardcore science stuff in there, but made it easy to understand for idiots like me, you know? So like, it was actually really cool. It was like an hour long, and it was.
What was the age of people there? Because like, he was like our generation.
Right. Well, that's what I was
my
wondering
generation.
Too. Exactly.
He's
everybody's generation. But there were some like old ass people in there, and then there was like college age students in there. So like,
does he do a meet and greet? Is that a thing that he does?
He had like a Q&A at the end.
Cool.
But some of the answers started to be really dumb. So I'm like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. Because I'm sitting here drinking, watching.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm stoned. I'm like, all I want to ask Bill is if he wants to hit, you know? Like,
so is it super science-y, or is it like you said, is it like a routine? Is it like a stand-up, like a one-man play kind of bit?
It was almost like that, but he kind of, the way he was doing it, it felt like more off the cuff. Like, he had a PowerPoint and stuff ready, but he kind of just was, whatever was coming to him was what he was saying. But there was some hardcore science-y parts to it, but then he would throw a joke in there that made you laugh, and he'd dumb it down to make you understand it. So like, because he's obviously still a super bright dude, but like, and he has lots of connections to Minnesota, which I didn't even know. He was like one of the first people that was at the Science Museum when it opened. Like, he was one of their special guests. Yeah. So like, it was very sciencey and informed. Like, I felt informed and inspired afterwards. Not as doom and gloom as I thought I was going to be. And it was just, I never thought in real life that I would ever get a chance to see Bill Nye, the Science Guy, you know?
Do you do like when you go to a comedy show and then you're with your buddies and then you just start like spouting off some of the things that he said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
That you can actually remember?
Oh, yeah. I've been using it on women on Bumble. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm like, did you know about the tropical storms that are coming and the winds blowing? No. I'm super inspired now. I'm gonna go home with a beaker and make some magic happen. Yeah, right.
Your Minnesota Vikings win 23-17 over the Jets to improve to 5-0. They're off this week. They battle the Lions 13 days from today. The Lions are 3-1. They are on their bye. there is a great chance that is a 5-0 team versus a 4-1 team. We'll ask Zach when we come back if that can be flexed, because he always has the answer to that. And Mike Grimm will join us next to talk about that giant Gophers victory.
Now for Front Page Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Holiday's the best. Red Bull, everything you need is at Holiday. I love Holiday. Everything at Holiday is A+. They have the Red Bull, Gatorade, everything you need. Their Denver Square wrap omelet bit is incredible. Get that. I love everything at Holiday. Mike Grimm.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. Couldn't be better.
Excellent call on Sunday. How do you Coy Parrish?
That's it. That's the guy.
Unbelievable. That
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this, and we'll just say it. I have a love-hate relationship with that team.
Yeah.
I love when they win because it's fine. That was a great win. That was. But that was exactly what we talked about last week with the Michigan win. They were the better team. The Gophers were the better team on Sunday. I don't know why USC is ranked as high as they are. That just looked like a mediocre Big Ten team.
I was wondering that too.
And they lost to Michigan, who is not good.
Yeah.
But that's a big win.
It's a nice win.
That Coy Parrish kid is one of the best athletes I've ever seen play college football.
How did he get so much air on that interception? I watched it 80 times.
Yeah, he can jump. If you have time, if you care, go to YouTube, do a search, find his basketball highlights. It's incredible. Yeah. It's part of why, if you remember when a lot of these guys now, when they're recruits, they enroll in January, they skip their second semester, their senior high school year. So they skip prom and basketball and track and baseball. He did not do that because he wanted to play basketball. They had a chance to maybe win the state title, and I don't remember how far they went, but he's really good at basketball. Like, he gets up, dunks, runs the floor, alley-oops. All that kind of stuff. So he was, and I think he ran some track, but he had some injury issues as well. But yeah, just a great athlete. He was the number 1 ranked recruit in the state. Ohio State came in late to try to steal him from Minnesota. The Gophers fended them off. And part of why you're seeing why he was the number 1 ranked recruit in the state. There were some doubters like, oh, he's playing in Esco, Minnesota.
Yeah.
What kind of competition is that? And then I think those doubts were answered when he went to the All-Star game, and I think it was in San Antonio. And they're like, who's this little small-town kid from small-town Minnesota? And then he went out against all these 5-star guys and won the game MVP as a safety. He had 2 interceptions in that game, including one that sealed the game in the end zone like the other night. So he's just been, and now through injury, he played more in that game than maybe he would have.
He played a lot.
And my hunch is that he probably is going to just be the mainstay back.
It was an excellent win. The Gophers are now 3-3. They're 1-2 in the Big Ten. They battle USC next week at the Rose Bowl.
UCLA.
I even wrote. Anyway, pregame at 6. The Gophers are 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah, UCLA is not very good. They've scored like 1 decent touchdown in about 3 weeks. That said, they've played LSU, Penn State, and who am I forgetting? Somebody in the middle that's really good too. So it's 3 straight.
They've had a tough schedule.
Games. Yeah. Who did they play to start the Big Ten? I can't remember. Anyway, good team. They played good teams. I don't know how good they are. I think this is going to be kind of fun. I get it. It's not the real Rose Bowl. It's not January 1st.
No.
It's not a bowl game, but there's a lot of Gopher fans who have been waiting to see that team play on that field and in that stadium. And
they lost to Oregon.
Oregon. So Oregon's pretty decent, ranked 4th?
They've played the 16th ranked team, the 5-0 Indiana, or the 6-0 now Indiana Hoosiers, LSU, Oregon, Penn State. That's a brutal schedule.
And remember, the Penn State game was at Penn State, 11 a.m. our time. So that's 9 a.m. on their clock, right?
Yeah.
And they had to fly. I don't know. That's got to be a 7 hour, 6, 7 hour, 5, 6, 7 hour flight.
At least,
from LA to State College. So that wasn't, ideal. That's one of the new things of the Big Ten, and they're traveling all over the country because they're on the, they're an outlier out west. So I don't think this is just going to be go in and slam dunk this team. It'll be easy. I think this will be, the good news is Minnesota's defense over the years, we've talked about this many times, when you're facing mediocre to poor quarterbacks and poor offense, they have shut them down. And this offense for UCLA doesn't look to be very good.
Have you ever called a game there at
never been there.
Oh,
looking forward to it.
That's going to be very cool. That's a lot of tradition there.
Yeah.
That'll be sweet. Well, did you get the line in this week? I bet you did.
I did, but the game got to be so tight and so good. And you know what? I don't have this happen a lot. I'm always excited. People say, do you get nervous? Do you get nervous? And I don't get nervous anymore. I've been around. I'm old. But I get excited all the time. Like I wouldn't say butterflies, but it's fun. When they're driving, I mean, I hadn't felt quite that energy. Like I actually at one point, like, Daryl, how's your heart rate? And he's like, man, I'm like, I know it. This is, so you just kind of had that extra heartbeat clicking. So that was fun. So when that got going, it's like, I can't drop this line in right now in the heart of this game. So remember the first week when I had to get it in late? Again, it was a similar game coming down to the wire, and it was kind of a throw in, and Guardsy said, hey, it doesn't count. In the background, you could hear him say, that doesn't count. This is a little like that, but I think there was some subtleness to it. You have to really pay attention to why I did it this way. This was my plan going in, and what I should have done was drop the damn thing in like in the second quarter and been done with it. But I was, you try to find the right spot. I had what I thought was a good plan. It kind of would make me look stupid, but I don't care. I'm glad for the sake of the show to be the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
So we were in the post-game show here.
Oh, no.
So you got to listen close to see why I did it the way I did it. The line, by the way, was from Anchorman, Will Ferrell, who's a USC guy. That's why hockey picked it. So see if you can pick the line out.
And then Minnesota. It's a Saturday night under the lights at UCLA at the Rose Bowl Stadium. 8 o'clock is the kickoff. We will take air at 6 o'clock, and we've talked about how much fun it is. And DT, boy, what a time right now. You got a Gopher team that got a win tonight, 24-17. You got a Vikings team that plays in just a few hours. We might stay up all night and have breakfast watching the Vikings. They're undefeated. They're at London to play the Jets. I mean, all kinds of stuff going on. The Wolves make a big trade. They send off Karl Anthony Towns, and the
Lynx are on a roll as well.
And the Lynx are on a roll. They win game 2 last night. And in terms of the Wolves getting their guy, who the hell's Julius Caesar? I don't follow the NBA. So it's just nuts. It's nuts, this sports city, I tell you.
Absolutely excited about Julius and the rest of the folks that are coming here. But I'm excited about the Wolves. I'm excited about the Gophers, and I think we got this was exactly what the doctor ordered. Exactly what we needed tonight, this victory.
That was perfect.
So that was excellent. I'm watching all the headlights leave 4th Street, right, from our radio booth, you can see, and I'm sure most of them are listening.
Yeah.
And at least 90% are going, it's Julius Randle. It's Julius Randle. What a moron. But I had to use it for the sake of the line.
Yeah, it was
just
a great bit.
That's
It was a great bit.
Yeah.
That was
I love
awesome.
That DT is just completely.
DT's the best part of the bit.
It's so awesome.
But you said it.
And I think he probably didn't use the guy's last name because he was thinking,
is it?
It's not Caesar.
I just love the obvious question marks at the Julius.
Yeah, so good. But you said it in that call. The Vikings were playing a few hours later, and they won. They are 5-0. They won 23-17. Sam Darnold, 14-30, 179 yards. He did have an interception. The game kind of turned when Aaron Jones went out, but before that, Van Ginkel had his second pick six of the season. Cam Bynum had an interception, and then, of course, they sealed it with a Stephon Gilmore pick. But Aaron Jones has a hip injury. They said he will be available in 13 days. Now, Zacho, this is what I teased, and I want your expertise because this is something you know well. If the Lions are 4-1 and your Minnesota Vikings will be 5-0, is that a game that Fox flexes into like 325?
Well, I mean, they can move them all, and I would think that would be.
Can they move them within, like, as long as it stays on Fox, can they move it to 325 if they want?
Yes, I believe so. They can do the 1 to 325 deal, and it's so complicated now. I mean, we had Green Bay, Minnesota on CBS. For some reason, last week.
Yeah, that was weird.
And yesterday, it wasn't the Green Bay game yesterday on CBS. That was
Yes.
That was two NFC games, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Two NFC teams.
Well-
so I don't know. They must be trading. It's like we'll take that game. You get this game. There's something new in some contracts.
There's probably some money that's being made.
somehow.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah, well, there's definitely money, billions
Probably a
involved.
lot,
And I think it's not until late in the season that they can flex like the Detroit game Minnesota has. They don't even have a date on that yet.
Yeah.
The last game at Detroit. So I think that the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season you can totally flex it. Like NBC could come in and steal a game from Sunday and put it in and push whatever they have scheduled for Sunday back. But I think it's too early in the season to do that. But whether Fox could push it within its own.
Well, they've changed the ruling too, because it used to be you had to wait until at least November. It seemed.
I think that's still.
I don't think that is.
That's still and then that's even been moved up now. So week 5, is when the Sunday night football games can start being flexed. They're not usually done because you can only do it between up to twice between weeks 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, it's just, it is legal lawyers just going back and forth, just hatcheting out this plan.
As opposed to what other kind of lawyers?
Illegal lawyers.
I can recommend you some illegal lawyers.
There definitely are plenty out there.
Damn legal lawyers, man. They get you every time.
Here's the issue with that, though. The Fox 325 game includes the Chiefs. They're not moving that. But that day.
Who are they playing?
The Niners. They won't move that.
Oof. No.
And it's in San Francisco. Now, the Sunday night game is the Jets at the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's
if we're past week 5, maybe they would flex that.
And the only 3:00 game that Fox has that day is the Niners and the Chiefs.
Niners kind of stink.
Yeah,
they're 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Yeah, Brock Purdy's great.
Can Monday Night Football also flex? Can they go steal a game, or is it only Sunday?
That Monday night. There are 2 Monday night games, and it's Cardinals and Chargers, and then Bucks and Ravens. But that might be a 7:00 game. Is that something they could? So they could do that.
I don't know. Can they do Monday?
No, I don't.
Not Monday.
Not until week 12.
They can't touch those. I don't believe. But
not until week 12, and that's at the NFL's discretion. And I don't know. And keep in mind, all of these. When people talk about the flexing, it's not just like, oh, let's just put it at Sunday night because it's a big deal. Fox is going to fight. CBS is going to fight for those games that are scheduled for Sunday afternoon. So it's not very easy to flex these games. So I still think there's a chance, in the next few weeks here, once the Vikings get back, that you are going to get more of the A team. Tom Brady is going to call a Vikings game.
You'll get Brady
pretty soon here.
If the Lions are 4-1 and the Vikings are 5-0, and the Cowboys don't play because that's all Brady does is Cowboys games. You'd probably get the A squad for that game.
Yeah, personally, I just want to have noon games. That's all we need.
No, Kansas City 3:00, right, Maxwell? Yeah, 3:00. Yes, sir.
Noon games are the best.
So you said the Chiefs and the 49ers, that's scheduled for Fox?
Yeah, that'll be Brady.
Okay, because normally, again, this whole new TV contract, normally it would be if the AFC team is going to San Francisco, then that would be a CBS game. So I don't know which week that is who gets the actual national game of the week. So that could factor in. But yeah, we won't know for at least a couple more days, I think, because I think it's got to be like 12 days or so in advance when they actually.
Regardless, doesn't matter. You're going to catch the game right here on the fan.
We want the Cowboys to beat the Lions anyway, right?
Yeah, we do. Your Minnesota Vikings are 5-0. They go into the bye 5-0. Nobody thought that, but Nick Swartzen and Chris Hockey. We'll come back. We'll do some What Really Matters. We'll talk to Grimm. He's here till 7. And then Guardsy will join us, and he'll kick this thing off with us until the end at 9 o'clock when Nordo takes over and talks full Vikings all the time. But your Vikings are 5-0. They win 23-17. Stephon Gilmore sealed the game with an interception. They have the bye week, and then they will play the Lions 13 days from today.
The Fan.
Turned on yet?
Brilliant. Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. Your Minnesota Vikings are victorious. They win 23-17. They are 5-0. The Jets are 2-3. It's time for What Really Matters, and we're going to just do this because I just remembered it watching ESPN that's on the TV in front of me. Grimmer, it was the weekend of the upset, including the Gophers who beat USC. Vanderbilt beat Alabama 40-35. Arkansas beat Tennessee 19-14.
Nuts.
California almost beat Miami.
Yeah, they had them on the ropes.
Well,
they were up by 20-something, right?
Yeah, Washington beat Michigan 27-17. Wow. And, of course, your Gophers won 24-17. But the weekend of the upset in college football, including SMU beating Louisville 34-27.
Yeah, crazy weekend. What was that? Like the number, wasn't it like 4, 7, 8, 10, 11 or something like that all lost?
Let me go back to it here.
Was it the most fields that have been stormed?
Maybe.
In one
Did you
weekend?
see the Vanderbilt?
Yeah, how about that?
So they threw the thing in the river.
In the river,
Yeah, and then how about how they just kept playing every time Vanderbilt took the lead? Nick Saban saying that Vanderbilt was the easiest place to play in the SEC.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, yeah, a bunch of upsets in college football.
Yeah, it's what makes it good because you never know week to week, particularly at the college level because you're dealing with younger players. Like in the pros, it's just it's a business, it's a process. These guys have other stuff going sometimes, and that's the fear right now. Like the Gophers now need to get their stuff back in order. They had their Sunday practice and all this stuff, but they can't just feel so great about themselves that they're just going to waltz in and we'll just beat UCLA. That isn't the case. So they need to make sure that they, don't rest on their laurels, as the cliche goes.
Any given Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, that also
That is what they
works.
say.
What really matters, Zacho, though, is this.
Since 1990, 6 times, teams that started 5-0 have missed the playoffs.
Come on now.
Okay, and one of them is the Vikings in 2016.
The question is, how many of them are Vikings
No.
of the 6?
Since what year?
1990.
Since 1990?
I'm going to
It's
say
more than
2.
one?
I think it's 2.
Is it 2?
It's 2016, and then I think didn't they do it in? Didn't they start undefeated in one of Tice's years, and then they just completely effed the bed? That's I think when they lost to. Was it 03?
That cost
I was
Tice.
going to say it was early
And
2000s.
Bursic's job, right?
Yeah,
You nailed it, Sauce. 2003, they finished 9-7. And then in 2016, they finished 8-8.
Horrible.
What happened in 2016? Remind me. Who was that? That was.
Norda went over it on Friday.
Boy.
Who was the quarterback? Was that Sam
Well, it
Bradford?
had to have been Bradford. Yeah.
Did he get hurt?
Yes.
Yeah, because remember
That was the Bridgewater year.
Yeah, he was lights out in that one Monday night game, the first Monday night game that he played. Let's see here.
Was that the year we had like a 0.02% chance to miss the playoffs and then miss the playoffs?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
That wasn't the Norv year, was it? Where he just walked out and said, I'm done?
No, I think that was a couple years after that.
That was a Norv year. But yeah, they
We lost Pearson.
Oh, yeah.
Tore meniscus.
You guys are bringing the vibe down with this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, jeez.
We were having a good morning.
Yeah, way to go, Zacho.
Yeah, we drafted Willie Beavers that year.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Great name, though.
Yeah.
All-time
Alexis,
name.
your Minnesota Wild opened their season on Thursday at home against the Blue Jackets. Game time is 7 o'clock. Bump and Guardsy will be live from the X on Thursday from 3 to 6:30. Your expectations this hockey season?
I'm not one to manage expectations based off of what I see in the preseason, but I'm going to do it anyway because when the Wild had their quote-unquote normal lineup in the preseason, they absolutely crushed. And they had matchups against some starting goaltenders and some lineups that were also kind of a lot of starters. So, they looked pretty good in the preseason. My expectation for this year is that there's possibility this could be a good team, but if it's not, it wouldn't be surprising. I think there's a lot of things we're still trying to figure out, a lot of young guys. To me, the biggest question mark is going to be how does our goaltending system work? They're going to probably try to run like 3 goalies this season. Fleury's getting old. Gus was coming off and off
That
here.
allowed?
It's going to be. So I think Goaltending is going to be a big question. If we can get decent goaltending, I think this can be a good team.
Zacho, your quick thoughts on the Wild and then what really matters.
Yeah, it's a box of chocolates. I have no idea what we're going to get here. The thing about last year is you hate to use the excuse, but if there's any team that could have used an excuse last year when it came to injuries, was this team. I mean, they lost all their leadership. The captains, which are not supposed to be rotating like they did, but we kept, if you had a C or an A on your chest, it was at some point you were going to miss playing time because of one thing or another. So to have Jared Spurgeon back, and he made a big return, to have Joel Eriksson healthy, to have Marcus Foligno healthy, he looks great, and I think we get the opportunity to listen to these guys during the preseason more because they do interviews with Tom and I don't know, Alexis, you've heard a lot of the same content over the Wild Radio Network. It just feels like there's some moxie. There's a good vibe when it comes to what these guys are saying. So hopefully,
I'm optimistic.
Yes, I'm optimistic too. Long season, we know it. Tough season, tough start to the season.
Yeah.
They get the 2 home games in this week, and then they get 7 straight on the road. So they could either set themselves up good in their first part of this year or put themselves in a hole like they did last year, which they just never were able to come out of.
Yeah. We'll break. We'll come back. We'll do more what really matters, even though Zacho got to 1 and it was about the Vikings. But your Vikings are 5-0. They won 23-17 over the Jets. The defense played unbelievable. I've got a few prop bets and situations that I'll get to about the Vikings and what their odds are currently. We'll do all that. We come back. It's the Power Trip Morning Show. It's Muss, it's Alexis, it's Mike Grimm, it's Maxo, it's Zacho, and it's myself, Meat Sauce. We'll be right back after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
The Power Hour starts at 8 a.m. and you can stream it live at KFAN.com/watch, powered by our friends at Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed.
Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. It is 6:37. Your Vikings are 5-0 after they won 23-17 yesterday. This is what really matters. I'll give you some scores and stats, and then Zacho will give you something that actually matters. Grimm's here. Alexis Pearson is here. Muss is here. Thankfully, worked all day yesterday. Maxo's here, and Zacho is here. Maxo, the Sun beat the Lynx in Game 4 to force a Game 5, 92-82. Nafisa Collier had 29 points in the loss. Game 5 is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on The Fan.
Yeah, pretty brutal second half for the Lynx, particularly the third quarter. They only scored 13 points. They got outscored 25-13. I mean, that's just against a really good team like the Sun. That's just not going to cut it. Sucks for the Lynx, but it'll be fun for the local fans here. We get a Game 5 with everything on the line. Chance to go back to the NBA Finals for perhaps the most prestigious franchise in the WNBA.
Well said.
So it should be interesting, and the Liberty wrapped it up yesterday. And the Lynx, if I recall correctly, beat the Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup and have a pretty good record against them during the regular season. So that would be a favorable matchup for them. But the Sun have been the one team that have kind of had their number all season, so they got one more chance, and they've just been out physical. They got to find that dog in them again like they did in the last couple of games where they got the win. But, yeah, that third quarter was pretty much the dagger right there.
What really matters, Zacho, is this.
The Sun accounts for 99.86% of the total mass of our solar system. You could fit over 1 million Earths inside the Sun.
I did not know that.
That's one big ball of fire right there. That's
Bill and I talked about that on Saturday.
Zach, you ever seen an eclipse?
What? Eclipse, yeah, I was there. You were there. You had the box seats.
Are you guys like eclipse nerds?
We were both at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Why?
For it? On purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach did that. You did that too, remember?
I did. I went because I was meeting some high school buddies there. A high school friend of mine who lives in Northfield.
Friends you knew in high school, or high school friends?
Yeah, they're 16 and 17 years old. So I went to hang with the dudes. It was the eclipse was one of the most amazing. It was. I can't even explain it. I want to go to the next one.
It's so hard to hear the sentence. Went to hang with the dudes.
Yeah, the dudes
to go and watch the eclipse.
So this is a bunch of people you went to high school with. So they're in their mid.
We're in our low 30s.
Low 30s. Yeah. And all of you are still virgins at this point? If you're going to eclipse parties?
Why do you have to say that?
Wait, do you meet a lot of chicks there?
They're actually, it was a great place to meet women.
Target-rich environment, you're saying?
Yeah.
The Wolves beat the Lakers in the preseason opener on Friday. Maxo 124-107. Rod Dillingham,
I know Rod,
had 21 points off the bench. The Wolves play the Phillies, they play in Philly on Friday at 6 p.m.
I was going to say some cross-sport promotion.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I'll take the Wolves over the Phillies.
Oh, Dillingham looked incredible, man. He looks like an absolute bucket, and he's just going to be electrifying coming off that bench. He's everything that we thought he would be, man. He's an instant bucket. He went out there and created his own offense. He's a playmaker, and it's going to be really excited to see him in action. And Dante DiVincenzo, 10 minutes,
so good,
11 points.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, what more can you ask for? He's going to light it up off the bench. And the more and more I see people that are a lot smarter than me talk about it and about the different types of offense that this can create, I'm really excited about DiVincenzo and Randall's inclusion in this offense, man. And hopefully they can hold steady on the defense because we know that's ultimately the Wolves' calling card. But I think there's going to be a whole lot of new looks on this offense, and it's going to be really exciting, especially with Dillingham out there, man. Our bench, the Wolves might have the best bench in all of the NBA. It's going to be, it's scary for the rest of the Western Conference, baby. Let's go.
And now with something you didn't know about Wolves, here's the fan, Zach Halverson.
Went with the lakes. The largest lake located entirely within Minnesota is, who wants to guess?
A Leech.
Mille Lacs?
Oh.
I don't have a clue.
Leech doesn't count because it's really like 3 lakes.
It's one lake. Leech Lake is one lake.
Yeah, thanks,
it is
Rand McNally.
No, it is. Corps of Engineers. They actually.
Hey, man,
you can look it up.
I don't want to lose friends here. Let's go to.
Let's not
fighting.
Have we guessed it yet?
No.
Red Lake? No.
You got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It covers 288,800 acres, but it is, of course, divided between upper and lower Red Lake, but which I've never understood.
What's second place?
I don't have it.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Probably Mille Lacs.
Good attitude. It might be Mille Lacs. Mille Lacs is huge.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see here. The Phillies beat the Mets to even the series 1-1 on a walk-off hit in the bottom of the 9th. Game 3 is in New York tomorrow at 4:08.
How are they going to do that if they got to play the Wolves?
Yeah,
good point.
Tough back-to-back schedule.
Good point.
What?
Somebody's calling in. Let's see who it is. Who is it?
It is Chris Hockey.
Whoa.
that?
Hi, Hogs.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hogs.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi. Hello.
What's up, Hawk?
Hi. What's going on? We're sitting on the plane getting ready to come home. I just thought I'd say hi.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm ready to get on this plane and get the heck out of here. I'm not going to lie to you. I love jolly old London town, but it's time to come back to the United States.
What is it, almost 1 o'clock there?
Yeah, a little before 1, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, it took about 17 hours to get here in London traffic.
Wow.
I was going to say, because you tweeted like 4 hours ago that you were on your way. You're just getting there?
I've been on because there's no traffic like London traffic to work.
Oh, no.
There's no cell signal like London cell service.
Bob is taking it.
No. Well,
hey, Hogs.
No. That's okay. Take your time.
Andy took him.
Oh, no.
Hogs, Daddy.
It's over.
Started talking bad about London.
Yeah.
Shut him off.
Big London.
They're dragging him off the plane as we speak.
Hello.
He's probably in the tube.
bye.
That was great.
That was brilliant. Hey, how about this for some what really matters? Field Yates just tweeted this, and I saw this morning on SportsCenter.
Who's Field Yates?
He's a guy on ESPN. He's one of their. He's like a fantasy guy.
I was gonna say betting.
He was
guys,
at like a fantasy bit before the season, and he busted his shoulder blade like diving for a touchdown in like a sand football game. Who knows?
That's a lot of background.
That's dedicated.
Yeah, right. Well, fantasy sports are the best. So, through 5 games, the Minnesota Vikings have trailed by 3 minutes and 26 seconds all season.
Off the C.J. Ham fumble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Through 5 games since 1970, the merger, where do you think they rank? There are 6 teams in this time frame that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Where do they rank in least amount of time trailing through 5 games?
I think I saw this.
Well, then don't guess.
I'm not gonna. That's why I said it. Why are you yelling at me?
Okay, through 5 games, the least time trailing since 1970. There are 6 teams. Where did the Vikings rank? 2.
I was going to say 2 as well.
Why 6 teams meaning what?
There have been 6 teams in this threshold of time for least time trailing.
Well, wouldn't it be 6 then?
Doesn't matter. They are 5th. I didn't explain that well, but Corey's not here.
Okay.
They're 5th.
Wasn't Saints, they were number 1?
The Saints in 2009, they trailed 0 seconds and 0 minutes.
And we're 5-0.
And they were 5-0. They won the Super Bowl. The Broncos in 84 trailed for a total of 1 minute and 7 seconds. They lost the Super Bowl. Last year, Purdy's 49ers trailed for 1 minute and 45 seconds. They lost the Super Bowl. The Greatest Show on Turf trailed for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They won the Super Bowl in 99, your Vikings.
I like this pattern I'm seeing.
And then the 1998 Broncos, they trailed for only 4 minutes and 23 seconds all through 5 games, and they won the Super Bowl.
All right, so who's planning the parade?
Max is. What really matters, Zacho, is this.
Get a little auto-tune going.
Travel trailers or recreational vehicles
Zach.
became popular in the 1920s and 1930s when Americans embraced road trips and camping as leisure activities. Of course, one of the more famous RV trailer places, manufacturers, of course, Winnebago, located right here in Eden Prairie.
They started in Winnebago County, Iowa, however.
Yes. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Forest City, Iowa.
Are you RVer?
I am not.
No?
I
When you
am
went to
not.
go see the eclipse, it wasn't in an RV?
We did not ride in an RV. No,
Yeah.
there were many RVs there of all the
RV
fans.
is sweet.
It is and it's not.
Yeah.
Because there's so much work that goes into it. Now,
And they're not cheap.
Yeah, you got to clean them.
No, they are not.
Oh, you got to get them all set up and ready to go. They're not cheap. Then you get to the location, and God knows your kids are just going to be miserable no matter where you take them. And then you're going to sit there, you're getting an argument, you're going to drink too much that night, and then you got to clean all that crap up afterwards. Just stay home.
Wow. You're a
homebody. You're a homebody.
Listen, okay. This is coming from a guy who my wife literally gave herself her own nickname, the Boat Candy. So when we go on the boat Candy don't
That's
do
not an RV.
S. I'm telling you a story. That's parallel.
Whoa.
No, seriously, she won't do anything. She won't drive the boat. She doesn't tie the boat up. She doesn't do
Sounds
anything.
like my kind of gal.
Boat Candy, all she does is when the drink gets a little light, she just shakes it.
Shakes the ice.
Which
Refill.
Which one of the Leech Lakes is her favorite to boat on?
What?
Brilliant.
Well, there are 3, actually. They're all together now as Leech. Thank you, Chase on the Lake.
Yeah, excellent. The Padres crushed the Dodgers 10-2 to even that series at 1-1. The game was delayed because Dodger fans were throwing stuff onto the field.
Yeah, I'm mad I missed that. There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
They were chirping the fans. Fans were throwing stuff.
He has 3 home runs. He's been incredible. He's a monster.
He was giving them the fake tears.
They boo him and they yell steroids at him and they're throwing stuff at him. Stay classy, Dodgers fans. Game 3 is tomorrow at 8:08 in San Diego. With something either on the Dodgers or the city of San Diego. Here's Zach Halverson.
San Diego has some of the best weather in the U.S. with an average temperature of 70 degrees, which also features 260 sunny days each year. And the city named San Diego actually translates to, well, I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah, don't say that.
Thanks, Ron Burgundy.
Just look at PA's tweet from yesterday. We have 2 baseball games today. Detroit at Cleveland at 3:08. Cleveland leads that series 1-0. And then at 6:38, we have the Royals at Yankees. The Yankees lead the series 1-0. Yeah, Tigers
postseason
got
baseball.
crushed.
There's no.
It's so
better,
good.
There's
It's so
no
awesome.
better.
It's
watch.
just on at a tough time, though. I know you have to play the games, but like Sunday or Saturday is college football. Nobody's watching that. And then last night, the best thing that happened to the Padres-Dodgers game is the lightning delay in the Sunday night game last night that Dallas ended up winning. But yeah, playoff baseball is sweet.
Wish we were a part of it.
Yeah, we won't be for a while because the owners are cheap. What really matters about either Detroit or Cleveland or the Yankees or Kansas City is this.
Tigers are the largest species of the big cat family. A male Siberian tiger, the largest subspecies, can weigh up to 660 pounds and measure over 10 feet in length, including its tail.
Damn.
You sound like the guy on Animal Kingdom.
Tigers are the largest species of the big cat family. A male Siberian tiger, the largest subspecies, can weigh up to 660 pounds.
You got a future, Zach.
Yeah, that was good. National Geographic, man.
Nat Geo.
Grimm, the Gophers beat USC 24-17. A fourth and an inch on the 1 inch line late in the fourth quarter gave the Gophers the lead for good. Darius Taylor had a monster game. He had 25 carries, 144 yards, 5 catches for 56. Brosmer had 3 touchdowns on the ground. The Gophers were an 8.5 dog, but they won outright. They are 3-3, 1-2 in the Big Ten. They battle UCLA next week at the Rose Bowl at 8 p.m. Pregame at 6. The Gophers are 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that entire victory?
Yeah, big win. 14-0 fourth quarter. So they've been really good in the fourth quarter the last 2 weeks. 21 points in the fourth quarter at Michigan, 14-0 last week. Maybe get things started a little quicker and just roll Saturday. And I can't wait to hear what Zach's going to say about Trojans.
Well played. Zach, what really matters is this.
Although the story of the Trojan War is steeped in mythology, the ancient city of Troy was real. It was located in what is now modern-day Turkey. Archaeological evidence shows that the city was inhabited for thousands of years and multiple layers of civilization.
That's not what I thought he was going to say.
I'm glad that was the Trojans we learned about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, let's play a quick game. All right?
Okay.
Yesterday was an outstanding NFL Sunday with all the comebacks and all the points that were scored. We had a bunch of unbeaten teams or unranked teams beat ranked teams in college football. Baseball playoffs are going on. What's the lead story on ESPN.com?
Cowboys played last night.
LeBron and Brawny sharing
You are
their court
correct.
together.
You are correct. How is that the lead story?
Nothing even
preseason
happened.
game.
Yeah, it's a preseason
Doesn't
game.
matter.
Like, come on, man.
That's
But still, that's got to be really, really cool.
It would be cool if it wasn't manufactured. It's manufactured. He doesn't belong in the NBA. Back me up, Maxo. And they were his agent told teams, if you draft him, we won't deal with you ever. So it's manufactured.
Yeah, you're going to take care of your boy when.
Yeah, but
Have you seen the clip of LeBron and his wife, and they're like, "What do you want for your son?" And the wife is like, "This is from like a while ago." And the wife is like, "I just want him to like be happy, like have a good life." And LeBron is like, "I want him to make it to the NBA so I can play with him." I'm like, classic mom and dad. Like, here. The mom is like, "Just be happy," and the dad is like, "Be in the NBA,
chase your dreams."
Yeah.
No, damn it, you're doing this.
But, I mean, he averaged like, 3 points a game or something?
Yeah,
at USC last year?
And just because I go to court with my dad doesn't make me a lawyer.
Legal or illegal.
Yeah.
Boom, roasted. Zach, what really matters is this.
Since 1974, Brawny paper towels and the Brawny man have been a trusted fixture in America's homes. Roll holders.
You're great at this.
In 2003, the now iconic and now clean-shaven Brawny man took center stage on the packs of paper towels, enjoyed by families all over the United States of America.
I do enjoy good paper towels.
Paper towels, yeah.
Remember
They actually made in Green Bay.
those commercials? For a while there, they were just making him a sex symbol.
Yeah.
And it was like almost uncomfortable.
I'm not going to lie, it was kind of working sometimes.
No kidding.
Jesus, hot sister here.
Good thing you got paper towels there.
I wasn't getting
heavy duty. Heavy duty.
Triple ply.
The Bears beat the Panthers 36-10.
Whoa.
Caleb Williams played really well. He was 20 of 29 for 2 touchdowns, 304 yards. Your Bears are 3-2. Your Panthers are 1 and
Who did they
4.
beat?
Being the Panthers has just got to be awful.
Vegas. They beat Vegas,
Is Vegas
last
that bad?
week or
2 weeks ago. That first week
Vegas
that
is
Dalton
terrible.
Because the
Yeah,
Panthers are horrific.
They're terrible.
You want them on your schedule.
Yes.
Yeah. That helps.
Imagine being a fan of that team right now.
Terrible.
I mean,
They have no hope.
No, they have none.
And they traded all their picks for a guy who can't play.
yeah.
Did they? I think they have a first-round pick next year, so at least they get that. And it could be the number 1 overall pick.
Dalton's leading the way.
Yeah,
Caleb
not
looked like
good.
an NFL quarterback
Caleb
for the
was
first
very
time.
good
Yeah.
yesterday.
He was awesome.
But Zacho, what really matters is this.
It's hibernation preparation season for bears as the fall starting to cool down, winter starting to heat up. And many bears hibernate during the winter months, reducing their metabolism to survive long periods without eating, then go for months without food or water, living off the fat stored in their bodies.
I think you deserve a raise, Halvey.
Yeah.
Who do I have to talk to?
Right.
Get Abbott on the phone.
That sounds amazing, doesn't it? Just a little bit.
that
Yeah,
would be all right.
hibernation. Just, yeah.
Those aren't the bears I thought you were going to talk about.
Just do a Mark Parrish throughout the
Yeah.
winter time.
Oh, yeah.
Just napping and sleeping. And,
Parrish
it'd be great.
hibernates all the time. And probably the best game yesterday, the Ravens 41, the Bengals 38 in a back and forth game. Lamar Jackson, 26 of 42, 348 and 4 touchdowns. He also ran for 55 yards. The Ravens are 3-2. The Cincinnati Bengals are 1-4.
They're in trouble.
Here comes a
Did you see the
Bengals
Did you see their
fact.
game-winning kick attempt?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
ugly.
How did
ugly.
that guy kick it that far, though?
That's
seriously.
true. The ball was sideways. I
mean,
would
yeah.
Yeah.
And not kick the guy's hand.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I watched it and I thought, well, he just pulled it, and then they show it and the guys dropped the ball, and I'm like, how did he? I mean, that was a 4-yard field
Yeah.
goal, and he had plenty of leg on a watermelon. I mean, he kicked it as it was laying on the ground.
How about the touchdown play, though, from Jackson, where the snap, he fumbles the snap.
Yeah, he dropped like 4 snaps in that game.
Picks it up and then runs out and then is like literally stiffed arm.
Yeah.
Did a Heisman.
Defensive
He is
end
so
like
good.
twice. And just a huge man, and the guy goes to the ground, and then he somehow finds his, I can't remember who he
Likely.
Yeah. Finds Likely there at the back of the end zone. I'm like, that is
And just a flick,
unbelievable play.
just a flick of the wrist, and it's like, choof, there.
That's an MVP play.
Yeah,
right
he's
there.
a
good.
player.
What really matters, Zacho, is this.
Despite the poem's immense popularity, Edgar Allan Poe was only paid $9 for The Raven at the time of its publication.
What a broke
But
ass.
how much was $9 back then?
That's a great
I
point.
can show you.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nevermore.
Who does Edgar
worth
Allan
the-
Poe think he is? Me and
Yeah.
Zacho?
Oh,
Wow.
that's a half hour of your work.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Jeez, Zach. I need you guys here for 2 more hours. It doesn't work without you two, so let's relax. Take a deep breath.
I mean,
Have we tried making it work
we've
without
done
him?
pretty well without Bono on the edge so far. I think.
Brilliant.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
well
and to
played.
tie back into sports, didn't Devontae Adams, he tweeted a picture of Edgar
Yeah.
Allan Poe, alluding to the rumors that he might go to the Ravens.
Who knows what's going to happen with that? But as you said, Maxo, off the air, and you were 100% correct. Why would he want to go to the Jets? What a dysfunctional disaster.
Because that's
Especially
worked
after
so well
yesterday.
for every other guy Aaron Rodgers has brought over there.
If Aaron Jones plays that entire game, it's a blowout. It really is.
Don't you think the Commanders would be a good spot for him?
Ooh,
Yeah.
They got the money, obviously, but then now with Daniels, the way he's playing.
They have a rookie that should win MVP.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
Are the Saints too? Maybe.
Yeah,
I think
but
ESPN
that's
said
only.
the
I think
Saints.
that's only, as Charge said yesterday. That's just because he played with
Carr.
Carr, yeah.
Oh.
Your Vikings are 5-0. They win 23-17 over the Jets. They are off this week. In 13 days, they play the Lions in what will be a great NFC North game. Grimm's here. Grimm, you want to stay till Guardsy gets here?
Sure.
Grimm's here. Alexis Pearson's here. Hi, Muss.
Hi, buddy.
Zacho's here. Maxo's here on Meat Sauce. We'll come back. Zacho will run us through the news. And the biggest news story is your Vikings remain undefeated at 5-0.
The Fan.